Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Anime Symposium, episode 3. I'm your host, Connor. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, you should have kept that rolling, man. Should have kept that rolling.
No, I was trying to start this corner. You should have, fake killed me. Like,
I'm the real host.
Boom! I'm the real host here.
Andrew. Okay.
Man, if you just set up, a thing where you just start off with your fake death.
He doesn't talk again for the rest of the video.
And then you hear him at the end, and then he's like, you thought you could kill me. It's not over yet. And then he just starts,
One of our 10 viewers swatted us.
They totally knew exactly when we recorded. Oh, man.
It was so.
Zo's a SWAT.
So.
Oh, swatting's not good, kids. Swatting's not. Don't swat. Don't swat. Don't swat.
Flies, not people.
Yeah. And hello, and welcome to the third episode of the Anime Symposium. I'm your host, Andrew, and with me I have Dawson.
What's up, guys?
And Connor,
Woo-hoo!
as always.
Yeah.
And Trio's back.
Today is Thursday, October the 8th, 2015. How
Don't
was your...
date us.
I'm gonna date us. I dated us last week. Anyway.
Did you?
Yeah, I
I
did.
don't remember dating.
This is only coming out about a week late, so.
No, I come out a couple of days later to make sure it goes out on Tuesday.
Okay.
Just for all the precious viewers to listen to. You know, all of the probably looking at it two.
All the viewers who have already closed out of this video.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
guys, we can now say whatever we want.
So we can make fun of
Fuck it.
people. Anyway, so how was your week, guys?
You know, it was a week. It happened.
I don't know if I can edit that out.
We'll see what happens.
It happened. Your week happened.
Just put it.
Yeah, I'm just pretty tired at this point. I don't want to go to class tomorrow. It's kind of a required thing.
Yeah, I know.
For me.
I love engineering because it's literally like, yo, class is optional.
It's okay. Except for the class I have today is right after lunch, and we had a huge lunch today. And I'm just falling asleep in that class.
This has so much to do with anime, it hurts.
Hey, you gotta kind of lead up to it. You gotta know the lives. Yeah. How about you, Connor?
I've been with you guys the whole week, so no, I'm just kidding.
I know, but just
I-
asking
I-
for our precious viewers.
Our precious viewer.
The one.
So what have I been doing this week?
You didn't lose anything.
I've been attempting to kill myself over a program.
Improving your drawing skills.
Improving your giant skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that program took
Mini
5
drawings.
minutes?
What program?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, that made no sense. Anyways, I've been working on a program for a class, and you actually don't have to type anything, so that's fun.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, we discovered that we don't actually have to edit anything. We just have to put things together.
Here's
and make it
all
work.
the stuff that's going to be in your program. Oh, by the way, I already did all of it.
Do you see the
You just
genius
had to
of him?
find it.
Do you see he's a genius?
Oh, Mackie!
Anyways, and that's about it. I did a little bit of drawing, and I had to watch anime with you guys.
Had to. Wow, I feel so offended.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly? Well, you didn't have the best of weeks with anime, with how generic and how you didn't like a
Well,
lot of
that's
the...
just because I actually watched them all this week.
Yeah, you don't have to watch them anymore. Maybe the good ones. There's the good
I'm
ones.
pretty sure he's just gonna watch One Punch. And whatever he happens to be around for when you're watching.
No, I'll get him to watch other
Is my
things.
guess for Connor.
No, he wants to watch what? Gundam?
Yeah, what are you gonna be watching?
Spoilers,
Connor?
moving on.
Everything on Sunday, basically.
Everything that I say I'm going to watch soon, I will be watching.
Okay.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Might as well get it out of the way. I found the best to be Gundam. What was it called? Children of something?
Comic Revolution?
Yeah, or
Concrete
Concrete
Revolution.
Revolution.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Was that the gun?
Oh,
Was that-
speaking of, apparently Kikai Sensen
Ended.
this week.
Yeah, it did too.
The
Happened.
recent one we just watched was really good.
Oh, the Perfect Insider?
Yeah.
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 And then One Punch, of course.
And I think that's it. Yeah.
How about the snow one? I like the snow one.
It's okay. I'll see where that goes. I'll do
Okay.
3-episode rule.
I don't know why I like the snow one. So
Yeah, you're really into the
What
snow one.
What was it called?
Utaimono.
I'm sorry, man.
But for you precious viewers,
Stop calling them that.
sorry, I'm playing a lot of Undertale. Anyway, for you precious viewers. Okay, I'll stop.
Move on.
I'll stop. But later on, we will be doing a fall anime preview for what we saw and our reactions to what we saw. But before that, we have a very special anime to discuss. Some anime that I really like. An anime I got you two to watch, and I'm really happy I got you two to watch. An anime about heroes that never give up.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Samurai Flamenco.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Flam!
Sam Flam's very interesting.
Again, so let's start again. This is our part one. This is the no spoiler territory. You were fine.
You guys are gonna need to take over for this part because I still haven't watched the first 2 episodes.
No, I'm not even gonna summarize.
Because
So, Samurai Flamenco was an anime that aired a couple years ago. Don't know the exact date. Made by, again, RIP Manga Globe.
yeah, Manga Globe's dead, guys.
And it's
Yeah.
about a hero's journey, per se, if you have to say. A journey through heroes.
It's Kick-Ass the anime, and then it's not Kick-Ass the anime.
Yeah. So,
It's how to divide it into 2 sections.
yeah, I agree. But, this is a very special anime. What do you guys think? What do you guys have to say
I
about
think
it?
this is going to be really hard to explain without spoiling anything.
I know, but try to tiptoe the line.
So, this is a show that if you're trying to take everything absolutely seriously, you're going to hate it at points. Many people dropped it because they thought it was going serious, and then it hit what the fuck really fast.
And then that's when it got
A
better.
lot of people dropped it. If you keep going, it kind of changes genres quite a bit.
And not only that, but in my opinion, it's one of the few shows that I have to say you have to watch all the way through to get it. Like,
Yeah, if you're gonna choose to watch it, you have to commit right from the beginning to watching it all the way to the end,
And you have
or
to
else you're
understand
kind
this
of gonna
even
miss
clearer.
out on the whole point of the show.
yeah. And that's the issue where animes like Punchline and Samurai Flamenco are animes that are infamous, where people just, started it, decided to drop it, and then just, the rest of the people who kept going were like, guys, this is amazing. Like, you guys totally missed out.
So,
Because the best way to explain it is...
it gets really stupid. But you have to embrace the stupidity.
Yeah.
It'll sort of explain itself towards the end, and it's not any amazing mindfuck explanation. It's an explanation, so they give one, but it also sort of centers itself after that. It brings itself back to sort of its starting point. It's sort of, if you cut out the episode, I would say 7 to
And to 7
the last 3 episodes.
And to 7 to, last 3, yeah, I guess.
You would hardly miss anything, honestly.
Honestly, I feel like you would.
No, I mean, in the whole Kick-Ass storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Everything else, you could take all that stuff out, and it could be, a completely separate, even spin-off series, and then you can sort of just have the continuation that way through. The only issue is they introduce a few characters for a
But then there's a lot of different plot points that kind of have to contribute
I wouldn't
to that.
recommend this, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
that's how similar the last 3 episodes are.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
the beginning, they
Where-
kind of link it all together.
Where this show goes from it's kind of like a yo-yo in a way, where there's parts where it's there's sections where it's going to be very serious and kind of drama heavy, then it goes down and just becomes really serious, over the top, and just really tremendously ridiculous, and then it goes back up to the serious moments, goes back down to the silly moments, and just keeps doing this kind of a yo-yo motion until it hits the end where it's just the guy holding the yo-yo.
If you can't take it seriously, my suggestion is don't. Just go with it and see what happens, and in the end, it'll probably be worth it. I thought it was worth it.
Yeah.
Going through the parts that I had to slog through at certain times or another.
But then when you get to the end, it kind of starts pulling things together, and you kind of go, yeah, you need that other parts to kind of...
It has a
built
point, and
Yeah.
it will get to that point, and
It just
and
takes
if you
a-
understand that point, it's okay, this did something pretty cool throughout. its whole story arc here.
I think this is an original series, if I'm right. I don't think it was a light novel. I don't think it was a manga.
We here do all our research before the
We
show.
are...
We are the epitome of research, but and I think it is an original story, and I think because of that, it's pretty good. I mean, if you see that there's a manga, there is a manga, but I'm almost certain the manga came out after the series.
Samurai Flamenco is a TV original series.
Awesome. Yeah. So for a TV original series, I thought that was, with no source material, what a good way to tell a story.
It definitely feels like it too. Like thinking back, it's definitely original. It's not something that I could see working in any other form of genre, partially based on what it does.
Yeah, because you get to like a specific moment, and then a genre changes, then a genre changes, and then a genre changes. The best way to explain this show, again, is you watch the show for a couple episodes, and then it just changed genres. The minute you go to another arc, the genre just changes, and it constantly is doing that as you're watching it. And it's an anime that kind of subverts your expectations, where you kind of expect one thing, and then something totally out of left field just happens.
I think it's more about like setting you up to like you're continuously expecting something because it's like it sets you in this mindset, right? It goes, okay, we're gonna do this pattern a few times. Now you're sort of into it, kick you into a like brand new train track, basically.
Exactly. That's the best way.
For lack of a better analogy. And honestly, the thing that holds all this together for me the best would definitely be the lead characters. They're just extremely likable people. And they're not, like, I wouldn't call them normal. One plays straight man, and the other plays, like...
The abnormal person.
Yeah, they play, like, if you were one of those, like, shonen heroes who's always doing the right thing in real life, how you would actually get treated. It's sort of why people call it, like, Kick-Ass the anime. It's very much, you know how Kick-Ass was sort of if a superhero was put into, like, a real world, everyone would think you're an idiot. Why are you doing this kind of
That's
stuff?
how people look at him as.
And, like, to some point, he actually gets obnoxious with this stuff. So it's sort of a flaw in him, too. Like, even littering or, like, putting your garbage out the night before is seen as a crime to him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, like, do terrible things because of it, right? He tries to be, like, sensible about everything he does, but he really does think that's, like, oh, that's so inconvenient to others. You should really not do that. And he's kind of seen as naggy, honestly. But because of that flaw, he's not, like, a perfect character, and I really enjoyed that about him. Also, the fact he's a little bit socially...
Inept,
yeah.
He definitely is a socially
Would you
inept
put this
character.
guy up there next to, like, unique MCs? Like, he's not really a generic MC in a way.
He's a great character. He leads the story in his own way, and honestly, like, I think he shines best when he's out of, like, the situations that he's used to. Because there's a lot of
specifically everything past, like, episode 7.
No, honestly, in those things too, he seems like he's in. Like,
he's in his forte.
He's in his zone.
Yeah.
He's the hero of the story, and he's doing all the heroic things. Doesn't matter how big the sacrifice is. But when it becomes something he doesn't understand, that's when he actually starts to struggle, I feel. So, I don't know.
Yeah, he's definitely interesting, and the story and the point behind the story definitely wouldn't have worked if you had a different character leading the show.
Even though, like, it's not really shown, but in my opinion, this is kind of a thematic... Like, there's a lot of themes and messages behind a lot of the actions and events. I know you're giving me that look, but, like... when I was watching it, I felt a lot of, like, messages coming out of, like, a lot of the things that are happening.
Yeah, you might as well.
I felt there was one broad, overarching point that tied the whole thing together for me in a nice, neat package. Like, watching it, it felt like someone had just trailed this string as they randomly walked through some city somewhere. And finally, when it got to the finale, it wrapped itself up in a nice present that I understood and enjoyed. And I thought it was good, but I don't think it has a ton going on underneath.
I mean, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
But
it's not really something that's going to be like build up, and then like a Lost kind of ending. Here's the big surprise. Holy crap. It's more like you get to 3 episodes before, right before they go back to normal. They explain everything, and that's why everything goes back to normal. And then the last 3 episodes, they play on that theme.
Yeah.
That's the first time I feel like they truly get that, like, the play on the theme right. It's like, okay, you had all your fun here.
Now let's get
Now we're
serious.
gonna flip all the stuff that you've been doing on its head, and it's still gonna be linked to what was going on before, and that's hard to sort of explain without spoiling what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I always tell people this. It's like it goes to Gurren level of just epicness, and then it gets grounded.
Hmm.
And then when you get back to that grounded, that's when everything comes full circle, and you go, I get it. But besides that, who would you recommend this to? Would you recommend this?
Anyone with the patience.
I would recommend Samurai Flamenco to anyone with the patience
To
stick it through all the way. Because if you're the type of person that's going to drop a show because you start to not like things about it, you're not going to make it all the way through, and it's just going to be a bad memory. Whereas if you can stick it through all the way to the end, it's most likely going to redeem itself.
Yeah, and I always said, like, just earlier, it's like, do you like Gurren Lagann? Do you like that type of, like, those type of, like, hype, epic animes? Well, I suggest this for you. Like, it has its grounded in serious moments, but it also goes to the silly, ridiculous moments that are in Gurren Lagann, too.
My three would be like, do you like Kick-Ass, what was it, Space Dandy, and cringe videos? And if you answer yes to all three of those, you will definitely
Really?
love this
Cringe
show.
videos?
Yeah, last three. I'm sorry. The last three episodes blew my mind and
Because of
totally
the cringe.
raised up the rating.
Because
of the cringe.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it's important because it's, like, mental.
yeah.
Everything that this MC does is very cringeworthy, but you can kind of understand him. And
Yeah,
sympathize with him.
I kind of get
It's
what
a
you're
bit
saying.
Watamote in that kind of way. I don't know.
It's Watamote, but for superheroes. But, yes, we recommend Samurai Flamenco, I believe.
Yeah,
Recommend.
Definitely recommend.
I would
We all
recommend
say,
to the right person.
To the right person, yeah.
Make
that's true.
sure they have the patience to actually watch all the way through the show, and they're not just going to go, "You're an idiot. Why did you show me this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our recommendation is watch it first. If you're ever going to recommend this to a friend, obviously.
If
Yeah.
this is the type
Well,
of
I
genre
feel
you
like that's how you should. You shouldn't recommend things to people you haven't watched
I don't know.
yourself.
I've heard stuff before. I'm like, oh, I think this person would really like this based on what I heard and based on what they like.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
at this one, you really don't know what you're getting until you actually get yourself into it.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. You need to experience it. It's, as people say, it's a wild ride, and it doesn't stop. Okay, and now moving on.
Yeah,
So the spoiler
let's
section.
jump into the spoiler
spoilers!
section
We'll
here.
do a little BS buffer so you guys have a chance to escape here,
Yeah.
basically.
Yay,
spoilers!
If you want to watch this and all its ridiculousness, go do that right now and come back later.
Yeah, go watch it. Just stop. No. Actually, don't stop watching this video. Put it
Also,
on
the female
mute.
character sucks. I hate her.
Put it, so
And
if you're
I don't mean the manager. I mean the other one.
no, we all get it. But if you're planning on watching it, put this on mute. Let it play through and go watch it. But
so we get that view.
so get that one view. Anyway, we need no kidding. We don't need it.
Evil deserves
Yeah, we
to
kinda
die. That's all I know.
Okay, so let's start there, I guess. Characters.
I think we talked about flamenco quite a bit, so
Yeah,
We'll come back
Let's
to
go
him.
to Goto for a little bit.
I think it's time to jump to Goto-san.
Yeah. We're not even gonna start where you're gonna start with.
what? Oh no.
You don't wanna start with-
Goto gets introduced first.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll start earlier.
Well, okay, we'll start earlier on this anime with the main characters. Again, the main two are Hazuma Masayoshi, I believe, and Goto. I don't
Yeah.
know his full name because it's long.
They're a
Yeah.
great couple.
It's Goto something, and they most definitely are.
Not in my
couple.
canon, but anyway,
Hey,
head canon.
and spoiler alert, they proposed at the end.
Yeah.
Through a romance, guys. They make it.
No, there isn't.
There's not.
There's
There's-
all the bromance.
It's such a bromance story.
It's very much a romance story, less
Yeah.
than a romance.
I mean,
but
people-
it's
yes-
highly enjoyable.
Yes, there are people who will take it that way. It's not surprising.
There's always people that.
But for at least for me, with just the inkling that possibly he ends up with the manager, I would say it's the best romance story ever. It's such a romance story. Like, what did you guys think about? Like, I'll talk about my piece later. But what did you think about just the relationship between those two characters from beginning?
our main two.
Which reminds me, you didn't see the beginning.
I didn't see the first two
So-
episodes. I've heard synopsis about them, but I have not
Basically,
physically seen
the beginning,
them
it starts with, sorry for a little synopsis, just to fill Dawson in here. Basically, the beginning is Goto-san is coming out like a convenience store. He's walking down an alley, and he turns, and he just sees
Samurai
Flamenco naked in the alleyway, and he goes...
His costume's like, what is it?
It was dirty. It was
dirty.
ripped. It was ripped because he got punched by the drunk guy. Basically, he sees Samurai Flamenco just sitting there naked, and Samurai Flamenco's like, I'm not a weirdo, I'm a hero. And that just spirals their relationship
that
from
takes
there.
the whole thing.
And basically, like...
I can imagine that.
Yeah, basically,
humble
Hazuma just,
beginnings.
He just invites him over.
He invites him over.
Chill, watch videos and stuff.
And then they
Netflix.
become friends. They just become friends, and then you...
superhero videos, not
Yeah.
Netflix.
But
fun superhero videos.
not Netflix and chill. No, but and then he just shows the love for superheroes, and you kind of get that kick-ass vibe from it, starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
But how did you like the relationship between those two characters?
I thought it was highly enjoyable to see the two of them interact together.
Yeah, I mean, there's even
they had a good dynamic. They're both very, very different.
Yeah,
Like as much as Goto is quiet and keeps things to himself,
and
he's
then
still
you have
very-
the opposite, which
yeah.
is Hazuma, who is
Exactly.
more open and talking about everything.
But they're such like good friends at every single moment except one fucking moment. But,
No,
one.
which I'll get to later.
But I kind of like, even when the relationship drops off, like in the middle of the anime, because Hazuma's out with the Flamengers and then Goto's
yeah, but
just
they're still
chilling.
good friends. They're
There's-
still,
yeah, but he still is able to turn to him at times.
Yeah, there's just that one time when they decide for convenience to suddenly go, oh no, they're not as good friends as you thought they were.
This for the listeners. The moment he's talking about is at the very end, where
Near the very end.
near the very end, where basically it
Yeah,
comes out the secret about Goto-san's girlfriend,
It's
which
like, not only is he a crazy person, he doesn't believe you and he thinks you're crazy.
Yeah, okay, I think we need to talk about that. Like,
Okay.
might as well do it now rather than
Yeah,
later,
later.
because that's a huge,
It's the
a
elephant
huge,
in
important thing.
our
in my
personal
opinion,
room.
in my opinion, is that he was still like a little unhinged from the earlier events, and this is a very touchy subject to him, and he doesn't want to touch on top of it.
But it had nothing to do with his girlfriend at the beginning. He's just like, yo, there's someone trying to kill me. And you realize, oh, there's a little kid. I find that hard to believe. And it's like, dude, you just fought a fucking alien.
No, but that was the hard part to believe.
That's the thing, is even though they explain it in the show by having Goto say, oh, we fought aliens and
It's
stuff,
like they
there's
were
no way a
satiring
kid's gonna
it.
be after you. It's like, no, if you fought aliens and stuff, you know exactly how weird things can be in this world.
It's like the
And
kid.
you're gonna believe your friend. You've believed him at every single turn up to this point. Why would he suddenly go back on that? I don't know.
You know how in the satire they go, oh, I might be a kitty rapist, but saying something mean towards girls is wrong, right? When you say something like that, you're satiring it. You mean the exact opposite thing. And that's totally what it sounded like Goto was saying. He goes, oh, we fought monsters of this time, but now I don't understand that a little kid's attacking you. I don't know. It really seemed like they did it for, like, plot convenience there. They had to build, like, fake... there's definitely a better way they could have done that. And still led to even the exact same scene, and it would have been fine.
It was just... I think that was just one of the bits, but, that led into the girlfriend bit, and then that's what created the tear. Was not really... That was the what's it called? The fire starter. No, that was the flint, and then the other thing was the fire starter.
Yeah, I think it just could have been handled better. I think they had the ability to handle it better, and I don't know why they chose to go with that, but
Everything else
it
about
was
that
just
part was
slightly
great.
awkward when everything else around it was much better than that at that point in time.
True. I mean, again, that's just my opinion. I don't know. When I saw it, I was like, oh, man, this is great.
It was just such a sore point, because up to this point, they're such great friends. Goto's like the go-to guy. I think Goto.
The go-to guy.
There's like a part where he's being chased by literally everyone in the world. The entire world is turned against him, and he's just going, oh, do I go to Goto? Will he turn me in? And he gets there, and Goto goes, took you fucking long enough, you idiot. Why didn't you just come here in the first place?
And they're like, it's them against the world at
Yeah,
that
it's like,
point
I
for a
would
little
never
bit.
turn against you. That's the point. I don't know.
I mean, I try to make that argument. I mean, I would have to, again, rewatch that scene, like, scene for scene to, like, really see, like, my own opinions of it, just because I really wanted... I like in my head I want to think about that
Like,
more. But the way I took it when I originally is Goto-san jokingly made a sarcastic comment, and Hazama took it the wrong way. That's.
I didn't see it as very sarcastic, though. Yeah, I mean...
Well,
he,
because
he told him to go home and take a rest.
Because he could
Yeah.
tell that he's like he was stressed out and like he was not sleeping as much. And sometimes that's just sometimes you gotta go take a rest, maybe refresh your mind.
Plus, before Hazama started mentioning the whole girlfriend point, Goto's dead girlfriend, or supposedly dead girlfriend.
Oh my god, there was a moment where I saw that and I was sad, and then a week later I thought about it and I got sadder.
Quick exclamation. He's texting a girl throughout the entire...
No, he's texting...
Goto is texting...
he's texting his girlfriend.
a quote-unquote girlfriend throughout the entire time, but then at the the third to last episode, you realize it's not actually his girlfriend. He's been texting himself. His girlfriend's like disappeared.
She's most likely dead.
Pretty much dead.
She's most likely... Okay, when a bus driver and a girl disappear, she's dead.
But all her stuff was left on the bus. Ooh.
She's dead.
She's pretty much
if she
dead.
took the stuff, she'd be more likely to be... Anyways, so he's texting himself because he's lonely, and you don't really understand that till the end, and it's this big reveal, which is pretty nice.
It's an interesting reveal.
But the other subplot that's going on, it could have been a great subplot, but that just gets ruined with it. Anyways, so let's go back, kind of backtrack to the characters again.
Yes.
We kind of did a full analysis on Goto. He's the stern guy, but he has like a nice, like a kind of fun side. There's points when he like joins in on the fun.
Oh man, that part where he just becomes Flamenger police officer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best. I was so
Crazy.
hyped.
enjoyable.
But yeah, so that's him. He's a great character. The lead character is a great character. They make a great couple. Again.
You mean great bro couple.
Oh, I don't know, man.
They're partners.
Yeah, man.
They're partners
Hey,
in
partner.
partners in the same sense.
Once you
Yosuke and
propose,
MC.
dude, you're not bromancing anymore.
He doesn't understand. The whole point of that ending is he doesn't
I'm
understand.
joking. Stop killing the microphone. Look at that. Look at all those bars. Anyways, no. Okay, let's move on to worst girl or best girl.
To the
trio. Let's just go
Yeah.
straight to the trio.
Okay, so I guess we'll go in importance. Yeah. Next we have Flamenco.
Diamond, Ruby, and Sapphire.
Yep.
Or Flamenco girl to start.
Flamenco Pokemon.
And her little friends.
Her band members, which are the stars of every ending.
Yeah.
Every ending credit scene. There's two of them or three?
Yes, there's two.
The second one gets a bit creepier than the first.
Really?
I don't even remember.
The second one's kind of creepy. I don't know why I got that
Don't
vibe.
I think you find it creepy because it's the
Yeah.
it's like
All the
wooden
doll
dolls.
things.
They
The
had
wooden
these
dolls.
little, like, paper-looking dolls that are just kind of robotally swinging
It
around.
just reminded me of the book from JoJo.
Yeah, you're right.
What is that called?
The prophecy book. I can't remember.
Boingo.
Toth?
Oingo and Boingo.
Yeah, I'm going.
book. But anyways, so these three characters, they're kind of the shitlords of the show.
I like
They're
I
meaner
like
than
Ruby.
most of the
No,
villains.
no.
I enjoyed
Oh,
Flamenco
sorry, the
Ruby.
main girl.
I like
The
I
main
like
girl's
Moe.
the
Yeah.
shit
I like
girl.
Moe.
The main girl's
Moe
the shit.
got on
I-
my
I
nerves.
apologize for that.
Sapphire, I love Sapphire. I didn't like her at first because of her voice, and then I turned around on her and I was like, Sapphire's the best.
The other girls just kind of follow her along because they think she's cool.
Well, no, because Mizuki knows that they have talent, and then Moe's in love with Mari, so
Yeah.
that's the only.
Yeah, I'm always got a hard-on for
Oh,
main girl.
that clitoris is so hard though. Anyway, no, but you kind of get an introduction to her. She, again, it really keeps with the whole kick-ass thing for a while. You see her, and she's like, oh, she's the more
She's like
confident
Hit Girl.
warrior.
She's like Hit Girl.
Yeah, except then she turns out to be like an asshole just doing this for fun and attention.
She's mainly just bored,
Yeah.
and
So
she wants
as
to fight because
yeah.
she finds it fun.
Yeah,
It's
as
something
Hazama does it because
interesting
he's
to
a
do.
hero.
Yeah,
You see the flip side of the coin is she's doing it because she wants to have fun.
yeah.
And
She's
like,
like, this looks like
and she
fun.
doesn't. She's not afraid to drag people with her.
And then
Yeah.
she gets bored real fast of like all the stuff going on.
Yeah, like
And-
that moment in like episode 7 where they're just like, "Wow, everything's better now. I guess
It
we're like,
sucks.
I guess everything's boring."
Yeah.
Well, shit.
And that kind of
Yeah.
leads them to more and more like dangerous situations.
No, that was one of my favorite parts of this anime. Is literally what like every time the characters are like, "Wow, we're bored. New plot point, nowhere else."
Well, there's a reason for that. It's some stupidest bullshit
Well, the best
reason.
Best
Because he said the word flamenco.
Flamenco.
It basically grants you a wish. But what's weird is it's not actually. It doesn't seem to be him who's wanting more. Like maybe subconsciously, but he never mentions that he's upset with what he's doing.
I don't know. I think that reason's bullshit to begin with, so I don't really want to try to delve too deeply
I love that
into this.
reason. That was such a cool reason.
I think that reason was the meanest to the end. At the third, I don't know. Again, I think the last 3 episodes is really the thing that played on that whole point. But I don't know. If you're just kind of for the ride until you get the answer, if that's why you're here, you're going to be disappointed. Because the answer itself is disappointing. But then what they do with it afterwards is actually interesting. Because it goes, you wanted to be this type of hero, you want to be this type of hero, you want to be this type of hero. And now you didn't want to be it, but now I'm going to try and make you a tragic hero. Like a different person jumps in and goes, yeah, now you're going to be a tragic hero. It's a link to all the stuff that happened before. I don't know, but Samurai Flamenco is wanting this like subconsciously. Well, Flamenco girl, whatever her name is, wants to like totally. She's very vocal about what she wants, and she's always pushing the issue and like kind of screwing up. And you know how there's always like the side character who wants to get in on the action, and like they used to be stronger, but now they get like a significant power deboost.
Yeah,
she's sort of like that, but it's
because she has major PTSD.
Yeah. I don't know. She's sort of like that, and I wish they would have actually shown her fight against the first real villain.
Oh, King Torture?
Yeah, they didn't show that at all.
Yeah, they just cut to her being like...
Which is kind of bullshit in my opinion, but what I actually did find interesting about King Torture is, as the main villain, he said, you know, you're a despicable human being, right?
Yeah. Like, you're doing this not for the right reasons. You're doing this for the wrong reasons.
Completely
You're saying, hey... like save yourself because you want to be like those heroes, and I like that's what I liked about it is like again it kind of touches upon those characters are like, oh, go save yourself. No, you're saying that because that's what everyone else would say. You know that they're not gonna go save themselves. They're gonna save you. You know that, and that's like one of the that's one of the little things that the little details that I liked about it. Where like you have that moment, then you have the moment where it's like, oh, why are all the villains blowing up? It's because it's for an overall bigger plot.
That was sort of a deconstruction, I guess.
Sort of, yeah. Okay, so the main reason, the way I felt watching through Samurai Flamenco is those first 6 episodes or so, I felt was highly enjoyable and interesting and fun. And then from that point, it starts breaking off into these
crazy, ridiculous story
It builds and builds and builds on itself. Switching genres, switching basically action hero type settings.
So from Kick-Ass to superhero to Power Rangers to Gurren Lagann.
He's in space fighting an alien in a huge version of himself. And throughout that whole thing, in the beginning I liked it because I genuinely liked the show. In the middle section, I was either laughing because of how dumb it was, or I was cringing because of how dumb it was. And there were times when I really enjoyed that, and there were times like the alien fight scene where it kind of put me off for a while, and I wasn't quite as into the show for as much. But finally, when it gets to that point and it gives you the stupid explanation of, this is my opinion on why it's dumb, but just the word flamenco happens to be connected with a way that there's a tiny % chance that somebody using the word flamenco will have their wish granted, and his wish was granted, and he got to be an action hero, basically. But after that happens, it goes into the whole 3 episodes we've been talking about for a while, where things seem to get very serious.
You mean they do get serious?
No, this is the thing. You think they get serious, and I thought they got serious, and I didn't like that as much because so much of the rest of the show had been silly and wasn't serious. And that's why initially I was having problems with the whole 3-episode arc, is because of how serious it felt. Like, he's going around and he's
And
losing people left and right.
people are telling him
People are not believing him. People are
he thinks
putting
he's
him
going
off.
crazy. There's the moment where he's contemplating suicide to end
He's
this
all alone. Nobody believes him, and he's completely isolated at that point. And all the whole lead up to that initially was just making me angry because it seemed like not angry, but it seemed like it was trying so hard to be serious, and that contrasted so much with what it had previously done. Plus, also, it didn't feel completely serious. I don't know, but once we got, I forget what the specific line was, but there was one line. I think it was
basically when like they go,
yeah,
I want to turn you into
I
Batman.
wanted to turn you into a tragic hero. The scene's set up like it's straight out of a Batman flick. I was like, okay, this entire thing up to this point had been building this one character through different genres of herodom.
Until the punchline in the last
Until
episode.
finally, in the last episode, the punchline of, okay, now he's a tragic hero. And that took that whole serious section, and for me, took the seriousness out of it, because it was purely to make him into a tragic hero, so he could complete the cycle of going through all the different heroes, which I thought was great, and it fixed the problems I had with how serious things felt up to that point, when previously everything had been so silly and over the top. And it just tied everything together, and that whole last episode was just so much fun to watch, too. Especially seeing our main character, like, flounder in a situation he has absolutely no idea
what's
what
your
to
final
do with.
weapon? Love. Fuck. I don't know how to use that.
I don't know how to use love. What the fuck is love?
Baby,
He
don't
starts
hurt.
on my favorite part of possibly the whole show. Sorry, my favorite part of possibly the whole show is at one point at the very last episode, our main bad guy at that point is like, okay, take off your clothes and get into this suit. And he starts taking off his clothes, and I'm like, okay.
The suit is the flamenco suit.
The suit is the flamenco suit. And I was thinking to myself, the only way I'm going to think this is amazing is if he doesn't get into the suit and just takes off his clothes. And he did it beyond what I expected. He went past, he took off the
strips out
boxers,
his boxers,
and he faces him
and
bare
then
naked.
starts like professing his love to these characters, and you just go, "You're so wrong."
He
Oh
has
my God, you're
no
so
idea
wrong.
what he's doing,
This
and
is
it's
the
the
best.
greatest thing. He's just so out of his element as a supposed tragic hero at this point, and it was so much fun to watch.
Desperately linking this back to Flamenco Girl, she does not get much character development through the series. She gets like one thing of, oh, I'm an asshole, and now I don't want to be an asshole anymore, and that's about it. And then
She starts to appreciate her friends more.
you don't even see her. She shows up for plot convenience in the last episode. She just goes, it's just like, oh, I hope Goto doesn't kill this guy. Oh, don't worry, she'll show up and stomp his balls for a bit, and then we'll be cool.
I felt like it's not a lot, but she starts to appreciate her friends more. Like, that's what I took away from her, is that you start off as like, she's very like, I could be the only one here. I'm the only person. Everyone else is along in the ride. And then she goes from that to, no, I care about my friends more.
I just didn't see anything likable in her.
Oh, no, I don't disagree with you. She's very unlikable, but still, I actually saw like a little bit of
I
development.
sort of cheered for her friends. They sort of had some like goodness to them. I don't know.
I only cheered for Ruby. Moe really got on my nerves. I don't know what it was about
It was
her.
probably the voice. It was,
No, it wasn't the voice.
I think it's the same
thing.
reason that I don't like fan service.
It might be the same reason that... I don't know.
oh my god.
I have a problem with blind, eerie characters.
Fine.
I'm blindly in love. Because,
But some characters are just like that in real life.
yeah,
Some people, characters.
I don't
Fuck.
know. It's just a specific
Fiction and
character
nonfiction.
type that really gets on my nerves.
I enjoyed Sapphire like more than the other three, so I guess that's just me.
Moving
Yeah.
on to the decent girl character.
We're all different.
Oh, the best manager, yeah.
Uh,
See, that's why I said in my headcanon, like at some point, like, you know, maybe, hopefully.
His manager sort of acts like someone to kind of keep him on the straight path.
Yeah,
It's like,
if like Goto's like the straight man, she's
like
like
the mom, honestly.
yeah, she's like the mom, where she like kind of like whips him into shape, like whips him back on into shape, like, hey, you're going off path.
Yeah, try to like, not fuck up your life while
Yeah.
you're doing all this shit.
Tone it down. She's the reality chick.
She's the reality check.
And it's really funny because, like, she'd probably be, like, a really annoying character if she didn't have someone trolling her the whole time.
Oh, yeah, that was another great character dynamic in this show, is her and...
Akono, yeah.
Akono, yeah.
The like...
The big TV exec.
Yeah, the TV executive, I just want to be entertained.
Constantly looking for a scoop, just...
Now, he's proposing all the time.
He is also constantly proposing to her, trying to get her to go out with him.
No, and then at the end, she's like, man, you're being too nice. No, that's just not getting me. Sorry.
I can't
trolling me. But yeah, those two have a pretty good like dynamic together. Honestly, everyone in the main character have the best dynamic, but that's what's expected.
Mm-hmm.
But her and the TV exec have a pretty good, like, I guess, chemistry as well. He's a really interesting character in that he's almost her opposite. He wants the world to go fucking crazy.
Yeah, he wants to see the world burn.
He's not even a bad guy, but like
he just wants to be entertained.
Yeah,
like,
when the torture guy like captures him and goes, "You have a good spirit, but you have one weakness. You want to be entertained."
Yeah, and then that's the whole reason why he like that whole situation spirals out of control. It's because you're like, you're
it would
right.
Be so much more interesting.
So much more interesting.
Happened.
So
like I like that where they go, you can die a martyr, and your news will be there for like a day.
Yeah, he shows up a bit too much for plot convenience for my taste, but it's fun to see him around. He's a cool guy to save the day.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, like that moment at the end where he's just holding the camera and he's like, yeah, I got all of this on film.
There we go. Also, someone we should talk about is Kaname.
Red Axe?
Yeah, Red Axe.
Yeah, Red Axe is the best. No, okay. So here's the thing that I was going to bring up to you guys that I was really interested. So now that you know the whole fact that basically Hazuma's will is basically changing reality.
It preemptively made it so that all the superheroes are real.
Yeah,
but I don't think it didn't do that until that moment. I think they didn't actually have the power until that moment.
Until his will wanted it to be. Like, I would actually think that originally Red Axe was just that dude who was like, I'm going to go off to Africa to go shoot this other thing. Good luck. And then just pieces out.
Yeah, and it's almost like he was an actor that they wanted to go, okay, now you get in here and you're going to take charge of the Power Rangers group. Yeah. Right? They kind of, it's like almost the way a director would do it. Mm-hmm. I assume what's happening is like the Wish is just grabbing a person and going, no, now you get in this spot and take this role.
Yeah, exactly. So do you think that like a lot of the events like later on that are like the backstory of people is changing because of Hazuma's will? And now here's the question that I'm going to go back to. Do you think at some point that girlfriend was alive?
What?
For Goto?
Goto-san.
No.
Do you, like... Because I could totally see it.
I don't think so, because it doesn't become relevant until after he becomes free of...
I know, but what if it's something that was set up in the beginning, that the will started changing in the beginning?
No, because it already said all your wishes are done.
Yeah.
You've made it through each of your wishes. Otherwise, it would have happened even before the whole alien thing.
Okay. I'm just putting that out there. Like, is there a possibility
I
that,
think there's some, like, arbitrary time that's, like, before the very last wish is done with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would have had to have been the case regardless of whether the wish happened or not.
Because one of my arguments is, like, Kazuma needed Goto-san to be there, and he can't, like... And he has a girlfriend that would take up time, create tragic backstory. Girlfriend's not actually there, so he can never see her.
No, because they said it's been like a lot longer that he hasn't seen his girlfriend.
I know, but remember what I said.
Before they meet.
Remember what I said is that what if his will... Because his will was basically changing the past as well.
See, here's the thing, though. It didn't actually seem to preemptively change the past for everyone else. All the heroes in their superhero shows, they would have been noticed before that. Mm-hmm. There's no way that they wouldn't have been noticed for being real superheroes if they actually had those powers. Mm-hmm. Like, not even one of them, right? He got internet famous in, like, half a day because someone posted a video of him online. Yeah. That shit would happen so easily if, like, the world was filled with superheroes. And when every superhero has a show...
You're basically saying that it's, like, it's changing it only at the specific moment.
It goes, yeah, we all happen to be it at the same time, but it doesn't really go back in time and kind of change the past.
That was just an argument that I was putting out there that I was thinking about at some point.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
But that's assuming that everything is actually all connected perfectly, which you can't actually do in an anime. A lot of times stuff like that won't work in a story.
Yeah, true.
You can't perfectly connect everything without making at least a few mistakes. Most shows have that issue.
Yeah, but then when you think about the reality of his actual girlfriend, it's really sad.
Yeah.
I like, again, like I said earlier, like I thought about it, like I saw it, I got really sad, I kind of teared up a bit, and then a week later I thought about it and got even sadder. I was like,
Yeah, at the end they don't give like a happy ending. Like
Yeah.
they're content with where they are,
yeah.
and but they're not really, getting anything that they've been
Yeah,
missing
like
their
the
whole life
girlfriend
over.
doesn't just suddenly show up and be like, I'm alive the whole
Yeah.
time.
It's like, yay.
And he got his little fantasy, but that doesn't make him any more like grown up in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah, his fantasies ended at this point. He's got to live with what's left after that.
Yeah, he's totally
Being
going to be president.
The president of the world.
He's like a child celebrity at this point. Like you used to be really big, but now you don't really make a difference. The only difference is people actually listen to you when you go, "Hey, pick up that garbage."
Yeah, moving on from that, like, what's another one of those supporting cast?
We can move on to the Flamengers.
Yeah, the Flamengers, because I was going to go
Oh
to...
wait, no, first the scientist.
The scientist, I was about to say
Oh,
the
the
scientist.
scientist is
Yeah, the
great.
scientist is great. Like,
What's his name?
I don't remember.
Basically, he makes pencils and erasers and stuff, but they're like super powered, crazy shit that like sort of acts like non-lethal weapons.
no, that's the whole point of that, is because, like,
He's
what
the
I like...
Batman.
What I like about like those characters is that they're all fanboys. That they all grew up watching these shows, and then they're like, "Hey, you're doing this superhero thing. Let's follow like the leads of the thing." And so he goes, "Hey, here are all these weapons, totally 100% legal.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing any bad by using these weapons."
I've designed them to be practically like a strangely complicated self-defense kit
Man, that
made out of
the
Police will
measuring
never pull
tape,
you over.
yeah,
the measuring tape,
dude.
the tacks that like disintegrate after a certain amount of time, like.
Everything's perfectly created to be as legal as possible.
As needed.
I think he has that really good moment where he's just like, "Yo, I'm one of the side characters. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm supposed to do."
This is why one moment to be in the spotlight and to fight here, and I need to say my line. Go on and fight the battle. I'll stay behind here.
That's what I love about it, is because even though it gets kind of ridiculous in that middle part, is you basically have a bunch of fanboys in like as the main heroes, and basically they know all those TV shows in the past. They watched it, and so they were kind of conforming to the tropes because they were so excited to be a part of them.
Yeah.
Like
We
again,
get
like with
to
the
do this.
Flamengers, where like all of them ended up being the different colors. Where like, I mean, yeah, they all started as red, and
that
then
was totally just a play on the Power Rangers. Though.
but then they go to like the different ranges, and then it's just like Blue is just like, "I don't agree with you being a leader," and they're like, "That's exactly what Blue would say."
Yeah.
and I love that because it's just like,
I know, but I feel like all they're doing there is just they're keeping jokes going.
yeah, and that's what I liked about it, is because there was some sort of charm about watching these people be superheroes and just living it up and just being like, "This is exactly what I always wanted." It's like if like at least like one of us turned out to like ended up and being like a hero or something. Tell me you wouldn't just start doing super tropey stuff just to do it.
For shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's just to
It's
have
like
some
you
fun
if
reasons.
you've read so much of it, and it's something like so dear to you.
Yeah,
I'd probably do something.
exactly. With the
extremely
Green Ranger
interesting.
being like super smart and always like propping up his glasses, the black one always like fiddling around with like weapons.
and stuff.
Pink being a female and doing all the girly things, and then Blue like, you Red, I wish I was the leader. And then Red being the new guy, always coming in and being the leader, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, why is the new guy the leader?
It's like because he has the mindset that none of us can.
Exactly.
None of us can match.
Just playing on tropes. Yeah. It was fun.
And that's what I loved about the charm of it, like in that middle section where like it was for you guys it was kind of like maybe a slog, but for me I was enjoying because of just the charm of like these characters living their dreams and just like, yeah, I would do that.
I wouldn't say it was so much slog for me at that point because the fight scenes I felt were actually like better at that point.
Well, yeah, because they had all the cool equipment and stuff like that.
The Megazord fights were as shit as usual Megazord
Well, yeah,
fights.
of course, you can't fix that.
Yeah. For me, the only part that was really rough was the alien flamenco part.
Sit down.
That part was pretty rough for me to get through.
Yeah,
I was like, God damn it!
left in our watching after that. You were just like, I need to just leave.
I can't watch more after that.
Dude, I love the moment.
It brought it around though.
I did love the moment where me and you just started quoting Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, because literally that was scene for scene that final boss fight.
When you're fighting a senator, I mean,
when you were fighting
the prime minister.
Yeah, when you're fighting the prime minister and they get like ultra super equipment and then they start drop kicking you and telling you how better they are than you and trying to like make you a voter and try to sell you your vote. It becomes the best thing ever.
The political boss fight.
The political Nanomachine son, like, it's just fantastic. Like I love the villains in it because like each villain kind of had like, again, that sort of like King Torture was that, you know, that he's like the Garo, where he's like that dude who grew up watching superhero films, but like the villains more than the superheroes.
I love, like, I feel like it's almost a waste to, like, give an explanation to the end, because they try to explain it. In
like
every,
piece by piece.
Yeah, in every scene they try to explain it to you in like, just a way that you would never believe.
Yeah.
They're, like, desperately struggling. They're like, oh, now we have 120 whatever men, and they're like, yeah, see, it's this complicated math problem with, like, a pyramid scheme and stuff. And it's just, they keep adding shit on. And I'm not sure if there's ever a moment where the characters just go, I don't fucking know why that's there. I think it's with the alien. They just give up and try to explaining everything. They just go, I guess there's an alien now.
Yeah, like, they don't even, like,
just roll with it.
Like, that's what I liked about it, where they kind of, like, piece by piece, they're just like, okay, why is King Torture there? It's because he's a dude who loves supervillains. Okay, why is From Beyond there? It's because they gave the power to King Torture, so they helped him develop. And then From Beyond is like this super organization that like was like, yo, we're gonna like take over the world, and King Torture was just the first step. And then they defeat From Beyond, and they go, okay, now there's the pyramid.
There's a bigger group of From Beyond.
Why? Because just so that there's more villains. And then it's like you get from like the really like,
and it's like, oh, every leader of a country is an alien, but there's only one alien. It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
How does this work?
I did enjoy the little meta moment, though, during the alien part, where he just, like, the post-alien part, when he meets God, where basically he just goes, yeah, what happens if I, like, you know, just decide to go back home and live a peaceful life? He's like, you know, your story will be wrapped up, put into a DVD, and then be sold in different, like, video stores. I was like, that's...
in different universes.
That's fantastic, because why are we watching this? It's because some dude in a different universe lived out his dream.
They had to explain everything in whatever way they could.
And I love that, where, like, even if it's the stupidest explanation, you at least did the effort to explain.
Still, one amazing thing they didn't explain is how the fuck did that kid disappear?
Who?
The middle school kid. When he's like, am I really real? And then he swims to him and the kid's no longer there.
Oh, they never did explain that.
The kid totally exists. He's not going crazy.
It's confirmed. We've seen up to the end.
But
I'm pretty sure there's that moment where his head goes underwater, and so he sees that and literally bolts out of there. Because
he has like one of those the balloons from Metal Gear Solid. This shoots him into space.
Bolts up into space. Or he just jumps in the water and like lays on the ground and holds his breath and
like,
hopes that Flamenco leaves
there's
quickly.
So many different ways you can explain that, like, but I just really enjoyed where like they took the effort to write an explanation in, because most shows don't do that. They go, why is that there? Just believe it's there. Why are there giant mechs? Just believe it. Like,
yeah, it's fun when they don't try to go like, oh, there's zirconium, eximum, xenon that we found in the ground, and if you combine it with gold and argon and blah blah blah, it creates a solution. No, they just go, oh fuck, no, it was this other crazy thing.
It was the alien.
It's like, yeah, but how do you explain the alien? It's like, no, because it was a fucking planet. But how do you explain the planet? No, there was a sun. And it's like, it's like trying to explain like what created God, and then it goes, well, that created God, and he goes, oh, okay, what created that? Well, that created that. It's just this chain. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and something even more unexplainable takes its place.
Yeah.
You can't really
once they hit God, that's when they're like, okay, that's the end of the
four-dimensional being.
That's the end of the explanation there. Like,
which looks like Space Dandy's old girlfriend. That's a thing.
How'd you guys like the animation style?
The animation style was pretty good.
I like anything that's not just like generic anime animation.
Yeah, like Manga Globe does a good job at that. Like, Manga Globe.
I like when it's pretty, and it was pretty.
Yeah, there was pretty
so
moments.
my requirements have been met here.
There's a lot of good character designs, like...
Yeah, the characters look good. Everything was very sharp.
Yeah.
It wasn't
like, even the Flamengers
awkward.
design, like, they look like the really generic designs for, like, characters, but they were still, like, you know,
they
noticeable.
were supposed to be.
They were still noticeable. Oh, how did you like the part with Pink? And just his, like, you guys didn't like Pink, but I was like, just wait till the relationship with the wife just comes in.
I like how she's constantly referenced as a pig.
Yeah.
Because pink. I don't know.
Pig.
Yeah. Like, how'd you like that little bit where it's just like the wife, it just sandbags.
It's a fun little occasional joke.
Sandbags her every single moment along the way.
Just doesn't even acknowledge.
Pink was an interesting character.
Well, the whole point about Pink
I'm
is
not
that
sure if I should like Pink is the issue.
she's in love with Red Axe, and then like Red Axe has the wife, and then the wife is just like, why is she still around?
Who
like,
is this?
Why
This
is
isn't bring your dog to work day.
Well, you need to go get plastic surgery. You're in the wrong ward.
Yeah, it made for some good jokes.
Yeah. That's where my appreciation of Pink started, whereas like they just started showing that. I was like, yeah, I enjoy that.
This shit talk.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Flamengers, Red Axe. Yeah, we touched
We
upon
can
that.
talk about the villains.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who's your favorite villain?
Kid at the end.
Kid at the end?
Okay.
Wait, I'm trying to
Obviously, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, my favorite.
We can talk about.
Okay, my favorite though, like, is probably King Torture. Like,
He was good.
I love King Torture just for the part where literally it just goes, I'm like you, but I went to the supervillain route instead of the hero route. And then they just started having, like, that
It's
really
like an
metal...
argument and like, oh, I think the world is just as fucked up as you do, but totally communism's the way to go for that,
Yeah.
or totally capitalism's the way to go. And it's just you have two solutions to the same problem, and yet you have to fight to the death
Yeah.
trying to solve the same problem. It's weird.
But I love that moment where he just goes super metal, where he's talking to Hazma, and without even, like, yelling, wincing, or, like, in pain, just cuts off his arm. Just cuts it off, and then attaches the chainsaw.
Well, he's already part monster.
I know, but I just love that moment where he just, like,
Groovy.
nonchalantly just cuts off his hand.
Off his own arm.
And puts on the chainsaw, and then blasts through the wall, and just has the fight scene with him.
That was pretty enjoyable.
How about you, Connor? Who was your favorite?
Please don't say the alien.
The alien.
Please
no.
don't say Alien Flamenco.
was great, though.
He wasn't terrible. I mean,
He was there for one
for
episode.
some obvious reasons, I really, really like the Japanese
Prime Minister?
Prime Minister. He
Oh,
was fine.
it's because he's basically the senator.
Well,
from...
it wasn't just that. Like, it was the build-up. He led to the whole, like, abandoned hero situation, and it was really cool.
Well, I remember reading the comments through while I was, like, watching this. Like, I was reading the Crunchyroll comments. It's just, you start off the Prime Minister as just a guy who's just sitting there with his arms crossed and just silently, like, they ask him a question, and he just nods. That's all his position is that he just nods. And then eventually he starts talking. And then you start to hear him, and you go, okay, that's cool. And then you get to the moment where he starts slapping Red Axe, and you just go, okay, this guy, you know,
Damn.
And then the minute they save the world, it just goes, yeah, throw you all in jail.
He was just using all you. I mean, I did enjoy the kid, but it was more like I enjoyed Samurai Flamenco's, like, interaction with him at the end.
That's true.
Because that's where, like, the humor came with. Whereas, like, the senator guy, like, he was
Prime
evil.
Minister.
Prime Minister. He was evil.
He's not Senator Armstrong.
He had, like, he was going, oh, I was just trying to save Japan, but, like, he was trying to gain power and stuff. And he had a lot of depth to him. Like, he was doing a lot of shitty things. There's different shitty things he did.
And it was all for the greater good, in his opinion.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he started off by screwing over the general populace and saying only the rich can get in. Then he screwed over all the heroes.
Yeah.
And said, yo, the heroes are faking it the whole time. And then he tried to screw over Samurai Flamenco, and, like, he tried to, like, beat the shit out of people. And at the very end, he goes, no, I was just doing it all for your help, for your good, you know?
Yeah.
He was fun.
For me, that's the equivalence of, like, King Torture, is how it starts off with a guillotine gorilla, and you go, oh man, this guy's scary. Next up, like, and then it's just as you progress, the more of his like minions come out, the more stupider it gets. Like to the part is he's fighting a walrus, and you're just like, what are you doing?
I'm passing out poison tissue.
It's like, no, it is so dumb.
And that's like, I love, like, again, that's again part of the charm where I was just like, because that was kind of leading into like, again, a little bit of the deconstruction of it where,
Stop slapping your leg.
the deconstruction of it is where, you know, hey, like, we start off here as like, oh no, monsters are here, and then people just get desensitized to the point that
like 3 monsters. It was weird how fast that happened.
it's because they saw like, oh, these guys aren't a threat. These guys aren't a threat. This guy is trying to put poison into the water supply to make people gossip. These guys are not a threat.
Yeah.
And I like that because, again, those, like, when you fight figure those characters out, it's like, oh, it's because, you know, they're super, like, they're people who are fans of supervillains, too. And they're just like, you know, this is the plot from, like, a Power Rangers show or something. Took it out. How about touching up on the music?
I mean, the openings were very enjoyable.
Yes.
The first is still my favorite, personally.
Yeah.
Specifically for that one section of the song where, like, the ship's taking off and, like,
The
manager's, like, banging on the window and the song breaks at that point. I think it's just such a cool little... Yeah, I'd sing it, but I can't sing. I don't know Japanese.
I do like that second opening just for, like... I do love Flow because of, like, all the other openings they've ever done. And just, like, there was just so much energy to it. I think it kind of reminded me of, like, the Trigun opening, just with the opening, like, guitar bit.
Like, the little guitar riff.
But, I mean, you don't really pay attention to music, but how about the music within the show?
Honestly, in Samurai Flamenco, I didn't really notice the music in the show.
So it's just me.
Which means it's... I usually take that to mean...
It's pretty good.
It's decent.
It's decent.
It didn't detract from the show, and it obviously... I mean, it wasn't good enough that I attached myself to the soundtrack, but it was good enough that I didn't notice it, which means it was doing its job.
And it built the hype, okay.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, I told you guys about this. I feel that somebody on that, like, music team played Chrono Trigger and loves that soundtrack. Because there are so many of those tracks that is basically like a Chrono Trigger, you take a Chrono Trigger song and then remix it a bit. Because I swear I sat there going like, that's a Chrono Trigger song. That's another Chrono Trigger song. Yeah. And for an OST that I've listened to so much, it's very noticeable for me. But, I mean, the endings are just... We talked about the endings a bit, but ending...
The best part of the show, you mean?
It just... I remember when
So, yeah, you ended at he got his clothes off. That's not where it ends. He takes his clothes off, and he goes, okay, the kid loves me so much that he's obsessing about me. That is, like, that's the puzzle he had to put together. So how does he get over it? He gets naked and goes, take me. Don't you want me? And shit like that. And the kid's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get off me.
And then Godo-san's about to shoot the kid, and he
goes,
just...
No, Godo, I love you too.
And he's like, I love you guys.
And then Godo's just like, let's get married. And Godo's like,
Godo, I'll do all the stuff your girlfriend did for you.
That's not the point.
It's like, no, that's not how this works.
That's not how it works.
And like, this is as he's like blocking the kid from like Godo trying to kill him. Godo is bloodlust right now, and he's like proposing to him.
And I feel like it's just one of those moments where it's so stupid that he just has to put down the gun and just go.
But it works.
I can't.
It's so ridiculous that it does.
It's like Dawson at the end of like at the end of the Alien Flamenco. He just has to put down his stuff and just goes.
But it's ridiculous for a reason.
I can't.
Like you can understand the character's like reasons for doing this, and it's not like Gojo goes, "Okay, I get it." He goes, "No, you're a fucking idiot." But I'm done. I just can't stand this anymore. Like you said, and that actually stops him from killing someone, which is great. I love the whole just like, okay, I'm just gonna take basically what reality has given me and kind of just go, okay.
Roll with it. Just
whatever.
Roll with it.
I'm done.
Wean himself off of his obsession.
I want to go home.
Yeah. And that leads us just, again, I enjoyed a lot of the messages about, like, what it means to be a hero in this show. It's never give up, never surrender, never give in. But,
Yeah, he keeps it through even when he's a tragic hero.
And be sure to not take your trash out until the day of. Don't take it out the night before, or rats will get in it.
No, it was the birds.
The birds will get to it.
No, I love the moment where it's like the callback to all those moments of like people like doing like the small like things, and he's riding his bike down the alleyway and he trips like the bike. He almost hits the garbage. He's like, "That's why you don't keep the garbage out at night."
That was a good moment.
Yeah.
Do you think the homeless guy was another callback to Batman? The homeless guy that he saved at the beginning?
Maybe.
Oh, that he later...
Yeah, oh dude, how is it for like those two characters that just, they show up for like a second in the first arc, and they come relevant in the later arcs?
Yeah, that was interesting.
The homeless guy, like when I saw the homeless guy when the Fugitive arc started, I went, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the kid, I went, I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this kid to come back. Because again, you didn't see it, but literally they linger on him standing there.
Yeah.
And then when I watched it again with you guys, when you watch that show over again, and you really pay attention, you notice he's everywhere.
He's always in the background.
He's always somewhere in that story. Like, there's a moment where, I think it's when he's already part of the Flamengers, and he's at the convenience store that, like, him and Goto-san always go to,
Yeah.
and he's looking at, like, oh, you can win, the Flamengers robot. The person who's talking about entering the drawing is the kid.
Huh.
He's dressed up in a suit and talking about the drawing, and that was the moment where I realized that. I was like, oh man, they thought about this ahead of time.
Yeah.
They really
planned
thought
it
about
out.
this ahead of time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like callbacks to characters that have shown up before. It's cool to have people show up again later in a story.
Yeah. But to finally end this, last minute thoughts on Samurai Flamenco?
It was enjoyable. I would not have enjoyed it if I stopped halfway through, so I'm very glad I finished it.
Yeah. I'm like remember I told you it's one of those shows you have to watch.
You have to finish.
You have to watch
or
all the way
else you're just not going to get it.
I love Samurai Flamenco. Everything about this show is something I love. You have Gurren Lagann, you have Wonderful 101, you have Revengeance. You just have so many great moments where I literally you guys heard me when I initially watched this. I was literally hyperventilating of oh my god, they're doing Connor.
I would say the show gets sadder as you think. The more you think about it at the end, honestly, the ending is so mundanely sad. Again, like I said, there's problems sort of get solved, but it's not in any sort of cheesy way. Yeah, it's they sort of got this little tiny push.
Well,
and maybe their lives will get better.
Yeah, I mean, Goto-san, he's
still not over it. Yeah.
He's still not over it.
He's still texting himself,
but he's on the mends.
Yeah.
You could tell that
his girlfriend's on vacation.
His girlfriend's gone on a long journey. That's what it was. He's going on a journey. And Hazuma, he's done the whole cycle. He's done being a hero, and then all he wants to do now is just, live his life. And then, occasionally if somebody litters, hey, don't litter.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's one of the few times when making a silly show super, super serious for no reason, or it wasn't for no reason, is why it works so well. Mm. But usually that wouldn't really work well. Mm-hmm. You're just I don't give a shit about these characters. Why are you expecting me to feel sorry for them? You really do. It starts serious. I feel it gets crazy in the middle. But it starts serious, and then it gets crazy.
And then it ends serious.
Well, it sort of ends serious. The seriousness, I feel just is leading to a punchline, like we said before. Yeah. So I feel if you're going to do, a mixture of serious and silly, that's, the right way to do it. Mm. You could, I guess go the stupid Naruto route, where it's just oh, now we're not doing anything serious. We better kill time by being funny. I don't know.
Whew! I'm glad no one heard that.
I know.
There's a couple people that would, get mad at you about that.
Jump out and attack.
Just start striking. And then do the pose, and then you're I'm Samurai Flamenco. But yeah, for me, 10 out of 10, 2 thumbs up. This is one of my top 10 animes of all time now. Love it. Top 5, actually.
If you can sit through it the whole time, and then you think about it afterwards, I feel that's when you're going to really enjoy it. But during the ride, you'll just be this is some of the stupidest shit I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah, it's worth it for that last episode. Is how I feel.
I'd give it. I don't know. I'm sitting at around an 8 because of the last episode.
It boosted it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 7.
again, I knew you guys wouldn't like. For me, I had different reactions because again, everything about the show is everything I love.
Yeah, it fits into your favorite.
And if this is the stuff that you love, then I'm sure that everyone who loves this type of stuff loved this show. Like,
yeah, and at least it does a lot of stuff. It does a lot right and it does a lot wrong, but it's better than just doing a little bit right and just nothing else.
Yeah, that's very true. It explores. It explores all over the place.
Yeah. Okay, and then moving on from Samurai Flamenco, because that was a really long, really in-depth discussion that actually went a lot deeper than our previous ones, because there's kind of theories and stuff we had to talk
also
about.
looped and repeated about a million times, but whatever.
No, but that's
It
the cool,
works,
but that's the part about that show, is kind of loops. Okay. What have you guys been watching, reading?
We've all been watching the same thing as each other. Well, okay.
We'll get into that in like another 10 minutes or so.
Besides watching pilots for this season,
Yes.
which we're not going to talk about because we will talk about in a second, I honestly haven't watched anything else besides played a bit of Persona 4.
Yeah. That counts as anime. That counts as anime.
I'm going to count that as anime.
Yeah,
So,
you walked up to me, he's like, hey, can I borrow your Vita? And I was like, yeah, sure, here, take it. I'm not using
yeah,
it.
I was really feeling
And it's
the
not that I
need
don't
to-
like my Vita. I just...
Sometimes a man needs a Vita and some Persona 4.
Dude, that's why I got that Vita. There's only one reason I bought that Vita in the first place.
For Persona 4. I've been planning on... I'm seriously considering getting my own at this point. I
It's
just have
such
to
a
pay
good-
off my
Your
3DS first to Connor over here.
You're watching a bit of Yu Yu Hakusho at some point.
Yeah, I
Yeah, how's that
fast-forwarded
going?
through the first 10 episodes. And by fast-forward, I mean, with sound, it's the YouTube fast-forward function thing. I mean, it's not that hard at all to follow it and fast-forward.
What's a shonen?
It's so slow.
It's a shonen. You really could just go, okay, fight, level up, fight, level up, fight, level up. Like, there's very few shonens that I could think of that, like, you kind of should watch parts of, and you still, like One Piece is one of them, where, I mean, it starts off that way, but then it gets kind of more intricate towards the end.
Or the opposite, Attack on Titan, which starts off super fast.
And it goes super slow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and then it goes super fast the minute, like, the anime ends. Season 2, finally people will be on board.
Season 2's coming.
Oh my god, I can't
Eren
wait for...
Yeager's a shit. Sorry.
Huh?
Oh, that's right.
Eren Yeager sucks.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. Historia is the best character. And you guys don't even know who Historia is yet. I love that. Like,
Hasn't even
I was
shown up.
reading a thread on Reddit where somebody goes, what's a character that, like, is amazing in manga, but, like, the anime has never gotten to that part of the adaptation, so they didn't, like, you just didn't get to them. And so you don't think how amazing they are.
Dude,
And,
I can name so many index characters that
I
fit
can name
that bill.
so many Negima characters, too.
I think most animated manga things.
I think you can name off every Berserk character.
Pretty much. But I wasn't going to say that.
But like one of them was Historia. Everyone's like, wow. Everyone's seen Historia, but no one knows who Historia is. It's great. Hey, I'm talking about Index. Hey, no season 3 yet.
No season 3 yet. That's not old news, though. And
That was such a weird article to read where the guy literally was apologizing. Like, I'm sorry.
he's such a cool writer. Like, he's one of the fastest, like, light novel writers out there, too. Like, when... I think it was the second season of Index started. By the time it finished, I believe, he'd already finished all of Index and was on his way to writing New Testament.
Oh, New Testament.
Yeah. So
Does he also write Railgun too?
he writes the story for Railgun.
And then someone else
he
draws.
writes the story for a certain scientific accelerator. He writes the.
But someone
he does
else-
the side stories for Index.
But
He's
someone
writing New
else
Testament.
draws it?
Yeah,
Okay.
he doesn't draw it. He's
Okay.
not an artist. So he's.
Well, yeah, he went into light novels for a reason.
Yeah, he writes. He does not draw, but he's a really cool dude.
Anything else
Nope.
before we get this ball rolling?
Let's shotgun this shit. as soon as we
Okay, and fall 2015, the season has started. Woo!
Yay! Things are looking very interesting
Dude,
at this
yeah.
point.
I
It's
thought fall season. I thought summer season was interesting.
From what I've heard, this is like one of the best. Well, it was one of the best summer seasons like in a long
Oh
time.
my god, it was like everyone was saying that, and I agree wholeheartedly. But
But that's because it didn't have competition. I also heard.
Really?
Yeah, apparently like summers are usually kind of shitty seasons.
No, the thing about the summer season though is that a lot of original shows came out. A lot of original shows came out, and sequels to good shows came out.
Yeah.
So like because of that, summer season was super strong
Mhm.
because there's not stuff like, well, like Gate came out.
Yeah, but fall season's usually when like stuff comes out. So
But no, for fall season, there's so many sequels,
yeah,
and that's that's a kind of an
that's just
issue.
us as a whole, the world as a whole is kind of obsessed with
Also,
sequels
Also, not
Yeah.
only that, but there was only one Magic High School anime in the summer.
that we watched.
No, that I know of.
I can't even think of one that Spring had.
Yeah, summer had one. Summer had one.
I'm pretty sure
And
Spring
then
didn't, unless I'm thinking
fall-
wrong. Spring
I'll look over this.
didn't have
I'll look over spring
a
at
high
some point,
school
but
magical anime.
fall has three. Fall has three, and we'll get to
Fall,
that.
yeah, Fall has sort of three,
2.
2.5.
more two.
2.5.
So first off, we'll start with my lolly. My lolly.
Yeah. Hey, get close.
This is, I believe there's someone calls it like White Knight Syndrome, but the actual name is the Lance and Masks.
Yeah, Lass and Masks. Okay, you didn't watch the second episode yet.
I have
And
not
you will
watched the
not-
second
You
episode
will not
yet.
watch the second
It
I'm
episode.
gets
not-
weird in the second
Oh,
episode.
dude, I'm conflicted now. I'm super conflicted because I thought I knew this anime was gonna be ridiculous. Was gonna be like, you know, the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
Like I thought, I put it up to Kusen Midoshi Kusen of the season,
yeah.
and then I watched the second episode, and now I'm conflicted. I go, what is this anime doing?
It actually might be interesting.
It took a turn that you didn't expect.
Even
though
okay.
the plot was, or the pilot was everything we expected, it was so, I don't know. A lot of people liked it, but I found it really boring because
So-
you could predict everything that was
So
happening.
basically,
Minus the talking
Lance and
horse.
Mask is an anime where basically this guy grew up as a knight, and he's a lancer, and he's in the real world walking around, and he has White Knight Syndrome, which means every single time he sees a damsel in distress, he has to save her.
And most of the time, it's pretty damn creepy.
Yes.
They don't play on it that much. in
They
the
play
first
on it like once.
They play on it
They
once.
just go, eek,
Yeah,
pervert. And it's like, eh.
yeah.
But even with the second episode, because the second episode, he literally is kidnapping people, getting beaten up, and there's a moment where the main character gets whooped. Literally, he goes to fight a dude, and then the dude literally grabs his lance and breaks it in half. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should really be. No. You know what? It's premieres.
That's spoilers, though. You didn't let me say the thing about the lolly.
Okay.
Slice of life.
I will hold off on spoilers, but just understand that literally
Well,
Mario.
don't spoil second episodes.
Yeah, okay.
Mainly.
Let's just say that somebody walked in and went, "Wow, this kind of looks like Kill la Kill," and I was like, "I can't. I have to agree with you."
Huh.
And I went, "What is going on with this anime? I don't know."
Next.
So- Do we recommend people to watch this?
I don't.
No.
Who knows? But
I'm
I'm
actually
not gonna watch it.
I'm saying if you're masochistic, maybe like I kind of am.
I don't know. I hear people are excited for it.
Yeah,
I
some
mean,
people
it,
like it.
it possibly could be
If
interesting,
you like
but
the cute lolly girls doing cute things in their own mansion.
I don't think that's what it's gonna be, though.
But it totally
It
is.
didn't look like it was gonna be that.
Yeah, there's a lolly in there, and it got creepy.
Did it?
Ooh-wee.
If you want to see a bunch of tropes at once, totally watch it. Also, it does look like it changes a bit in the second episode.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're looking for like a surprise show that not a lot of people are gonna watch, or,
Maybe this could go places.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea, but I'm not gonna
From
watch
the first episode, you're not gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it masochistically, and you might peer over my shoulder every now and then.
yeah.
Next up, Noragami Season 2.
it. Yay! Is this our only season 2 that we're talking about?
Yes.
Because we
Because I
haven't
have not seen
watched-
Shima no Burst, I have not watched K, and I haven't seen Hino no Aria.
Yeah,
Which
and I have
forgot
yet to
to
watch
mention.
Yuri Yuri.
I forgot to mention in the previous segment, not only did I watch Higurashi,
Oh, we haven't watched the Monogatari series either.
yeah,
I'm sorry if you like that. I'll
But-
get around to it.
not only did I watch Higurashi, I watched all of Noragami in one day. I heard, basically, this is awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah,
This is, if you haven't seen Noragami yet, watch Noragami.
Soundtrack is nice.
the
Yes.
soundtrack is really good. It's kind of, for me, what it was watching it is I felt like it was the same way I found Death Parade to just be universally good. I found this to be universally
Well
good.
received.
Yeah, it's not the top of its class,
But
what it does, it's totally doing well.
yeah, I mean, I got very much Air Gear kind of vibes from it and stuff like that, in the way the animation style constantly changes from serious to, like, goofy
Silly.
looking. The reason why I picked this up is I heard that second opening and went, oh, I gotta watch this now.
I've been trying to get you guys to watch Noragami for a while.
And then I sat down and I watched all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one's Owari no Seraph.
Owari no Seraph. Oh yeah, second season of that. I've read the manga, but I couldn't watch the anime.
But yes,
spring.
second season looks very promising.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I mean, if
has
you've
to-
watched the first season, I'm assuming you're gonna want to watch the second.
And if you
season.
haven't watched the first season, watch the second season. Watch the first season and then watch the second season, because
Yeah.
it looks like it's about to go to some really interesting places.
It's got one of my top. It's the battle track for when they're having battles in that is in my top 3 battle tracks of
Also,
any anime.
if you go from previous season, Hajime from Gatchaman Crowds is the female lead, and Izaya is the male lead.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Izaya is the male lead.
I never noticed.
Yeah, it's the best. Next up is something really that none of us expected that we would laugh so hard at until we decided to click on it. And it's a short called Kagewani.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Best animation ever.
10 out of 10. Gonna be the number 1 for the season. But in all seriousness here, this is like a really weird 8-minute short that's got this really strange, almost cutout-like animation.
It's like some shows you'd see on maybe like Nickelodeon. Like it was like Pepper Ann or some weird shit like that.
Oh yeah,
The thing they showed before the Digimon movie.
the Pepper the Pig.
No, not Peppa the Pig.
Oh okay, something
Not Peppa Pig.
back when we were younger.
Yeah, it was this weird shit. But anyways, like a lot of sort of Western cartoons.
I kind of think of it like old South Park, but with better like
yeah,
drawings.
it's definitely like a clipping. Like
Yeah, it's like things have been clipped out and taken pictures of
or at
over
least
other
that's what they're
things.
trying to make it look like.
But so
Yeah.
what
Could be
this
Flash. I'm
what
not
this
sure.
looks
I
like,
have
this
no
anime
idea.
is basically about a professor going after the supernatural, and it looks really like
No, it was Angela
It's-
Anaconda, not Pepper Ann.
oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah. Imagine Indiana Jones is in Japan and going after supernatural monsters
In Japan.
instead of trying to find treasure.
Yeah, and
Well, we don't even know that though.
But that first
Yeah,
episode-
we've hardly seen him,
Honestly,
but I'm pretty
You
sure
see
that's
a
what it's going to be
different
like.
group. You see people who aren't the main cast.
honestly, that first episode had us laughing.
Yeah, it's
If-
just such a weird thing
If you
to
want,
watch.
yeah, I didn't
thought
expect this to be like a comedy, but it
It was a
probably
little bit
isn't.
gory and stuff.
But
But
if you want something to laugh at, do it.
it's supposed to
Yeah,
be
I don't
scary.
know. I don't know if you were supposed to laugh at that. I honestly can't tell if that was the intention or not, but I just
You
found
were laughing at the animation, was
I was laughing at the animation mainly. It was just so
that
silly.
moment where they start
I wasn't
shooting
expecting it at
shooting
all.
the anime from the camera point of view.
Yeah. Just it's 8 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Watch it, and if you
Yeah,
find
you
it
know
as
what?
hilarious
That's
as I did,
that's another on the recommended list.
It's so
Um,
bad it's good.
it's so bad it's good. I would recommend watching
Next
it
up
just to
is
see.
Heavy Object. I can't say anything much about this one right now.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Exposition.
Yeah.
Exposition.
we got a lot of exposition. We'll see where Heavy Object goes.
You're excited.
I'm
about Heavy
interested. Well, it was the guy who wrote Index and Railgun. I believe this is his work that he wrote before he wrote those. And he even in the beginning of Index, like reading the earlier Index light novels, he's not the best writer. Like he really doesn't evolve till later, and especially if this has been written before, it's probably not going to be the best written thing in the world. But I'm really interested to watch
To
something.
see humble beginnings.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm-
Like this is a guy who I really like his later stuff, so I want to see
Where he started
what
from.
he did earlier.
It's like
and
it's
I
like
don't feel like reading it.
it's like going through Ken Akamatsu stuff and go, I guess I could read Love Hina.
Yeah, I might as well just.
I read Negima. I read I might as well read Love Hina.
Might as well.
Um,
Yeah, so I'm interested in it. It doesn't look amazing. It's definitely not going to be like top of the season or anything. But
are you
I'm
kidding me?
excited
'Cause
to watch
it's,
it.
It's one of it could be it's like one of the pillars, like one of the most. looked
I
at.
mean, I think it's one of the ones a lot of people are watching. but I don't think it's going to end up being considered one of the best.
Yeah, but I think the 5 pillars this season, again, is Heavy Object, and then the 4 that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Because literally, I mean, Heavy Object less, because if you look at most people's lists, the 4 that people are watching are the 4 that Utaremono, Perfect Insider, the Sakura-san, and One Punch Man. Like,
Also,
that's
if you
literally
include second seasons, the new Monogatari
yeah.
season is probably up there too, I'd say.
But Heavy Object looks, I don't know, it kind of hooked me in because, not hooked me in, but it kept my interest because the promise of Metal Gear is true in this. Connor, what do you think?
It was okay.
I remember you were drawing, there's so much exposition.
No, I mean, I feel like you kind of said there was going to be 2 main characters, but I really only saw the long-haired character getting much attention.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
But I don't like Liquid. I like Solid better. Not kidding.
Yeah, I found him to be the more interesting of the 2.
I just like that moment where he goes after the deer and just, fails.
Yeah.
These are homing bullets. How do you fail?
How do you miss with homing bullets?
Okay.
Who knows?
Next up, this is a list on how we watched it, like the order we watched it. So,
yeah.
Next up is called Utoremono. Again, I might have just butchered that. And basically, again, like I said earlier, this is one that's on the watches of many people's lists.
We have no idea how it's going to go.
We don't know what this is about.
This is very weird. It's apparently based off of a
visual novel.
Visual novel.
I think so.
And
it's like Spice and Wolf, but with monster fighting.
Yeah, it was definitely giving off Spice and Wolf vibes to me.
Uh-huh.
I highly doubt it will be as good as Spice and Wolf, but
there's a little bit of Farmville in there too.
A little Farmville. Yeah, it's got a super lazy main character with amnesia, which is a really weird combo, but it's
also he's been thrown into a different universe.
Yeah,
we think.
I mean, he has amnesia, so
it's weird.
How can you?
He comes out wearing this kind of plasticky patient suit.
Yeah,
he doesn't
he was just in the hospital.
The people or why they have tails and ears and stuff. So it's pretty easy to assume he's in a different universe.
Yeah, it's very strange. It looks like it could be interesting. This is one I'm definitely gonna have to reserve my I
was thinking about it earlier. I'll call you up and we'll just watch this one together. See what the second episode has in store.
Exactly.
Next up are the 2 that we consider the
these
same
need to be talked about together because they're practically the same.
The only reason why we're saying it generically, that they're generic, is literally when you watch 2 shows back to back, and the first episode's the same. Yes. It could change in later. It most likely will be different later on and will diverge differently. But right now, for our initial predictions, it's just Gakusen Asterisk and Rukudai Kishi no Cavalry. Basically are 2 shows that are the same thing.
It's a It's a fantasy high school. New character comes in, walks on the girl changing. She gets mad. Because of some random reason, well, not a random reason, because of basically the plot of the show, the school has battles. So they decide to do a battle. The guy beats the girl for some bullshit reason that they were hiding from you from the beginning, but will be the plot of the show as well.
Because both girls are apparently top of their class.
Yes.
And Gakutoshi or Asterisk, she's one of the head students, and he just magically goes through the fire.
And then things get a little bit better for the character as the show ends. The few differences is in the first one, in Asterisk, the cameraman's a total fucking pervert. Another similarity is they both have friends with cameras, which is really weird. Or one, you have a friend with a camera and then a random girl with a camera who appear. Both have the same color hair. Both seem to have the same demeanor, and both only show up during the battle. What else do we have?
Oh, best friend character shows up.
Yeah,
knows everything. But I mean, the best way to explain these 2 is there's 3. There's 3 that are very similar. I prefer the third one better than the other 2. But out of these 2, I prefer Cavalry way more than Asterisk. Because there's something about the animation style in Cavalry and the plots, that it looks like it's going somewhere.
Well, yeah, in Asterisk, they're basically fighting with really funky-looking lightsabers. whereas
They actually use real weapons.
they use real
Soul
weapons and cavalry.
Soul weapons.
Yeah, the absolute duo style.
And the ending of Cavalry makes you think this is actually going to go a little bit like way far away from where we started.
Yeah, because what I've heard about how these diverge, it's these two diverge really differently.
Yeah, it's just interesting because they both started off with
Basically
almost
the
exact same
to the
first
point
episode.
where main girl character has fire powers. Okay. Like,
Yeah,
they're the princess. Okay.
they're following a transfer student.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like you took it's like you take a visual novel, and on one path you get along with the person you were just fighting. On the other path, you like leave them and start talking to the student council president instead.
Which is basically, yeah, exactly. But you get like, I'm not gonna recommend these, but I'm gonna keep watching them.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to watch them side by side just to compare these two very similar,
the most
very
thing I'm excited for.
possibly different things.
I want to see how the community reacts and see how each person is kind of like taking these two and kind of like, watching them back to back and being like, this one did this differently, and just kind of see the differences as you go through it. I mean, I'm just going to give a heads up. I'm going to keep saying this for every anime here. I'm going to keep watching all of these because I'm kind of masochistic that way.
Yeah, I'm probably
You're not going to watch
not going to keep up with either of these. They're not interesting enough for me for it to be worth it, but it was interesting to see those first two episodes side by side.
I'm going to guess you're the same, Connor.
Yeah.
I mean, I might force you to watch it at some point.
It's fine. I'll watch you over your shoulder. So next we have Young Blackjack. This show does not seem hide at all that the fact that it's like an older manga is sort of the way it's...
But dude, I saw that previous animation, so I looked it up. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like you see these characters that they're going to be showing later, or I guess just the ones you saw through the show.
Those are actually characters that are going to be in the season, because a lot of those characters aren't in the source. Like in
Yeah,
the,
and they look like Disney, like old-fashioned Disney characters.
I think I was kind of comparing it to Detective Conan at some. Case closed.
But that's because a lot of people said the top person or the kind of father of anime got a lot of his inspiration from Walt Disney and Disney cartoons, which kind of shows that's how I kind of see its age, and also it's not really trying to go for any big twists. It's kind of just presenting itself as it is. This is kind of like a manga you would read when you were in the 90s, maybe.
Yeah, it seems like a very old style thing. Like you could tell from the animation's quality to the story to the characters that it seems like this was this was written a long time ago.
Yeah, for me it was just a huge shot out of left field. I just wasn't expecting anything about
Remember,
this.
you followed up those three anime and then we ended that night with this.
Yeah, it's just very weird.
It's a dude doing surgeries.
Yeah, it's a guy that looks like Dr. Stein from Soul Eater.
Who's basically Dr. House.
Oh, he's not.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, he has his friend who's Dr. Housey, but...
He looks like Dr.
Yeah.
Who are you, a doctor who's scared of blood? Anyway.
Who knows? Yeah, there's a doctor who's scared of blood. But...
No, he's a surgeon.
A surgeon who's scared of blood.
That's the twist on him. I don't know.
It's kind of strange. But it's just a really... weird show. I mean, maybe this is a prequel, right? I feel like maybe I would understand better if I had watched the original.
I mean, people are saying that you didn't have to, but
Yeah, it's just a very weird show for me. I definitely wasn't expecting it to be as it was.
I can't recommend this one either.
I mean, if you like doctor shows and you want sort of a cute husband character,
Yeah, watch it.
Go ahead and try it. Try the first episode, see if you like it.
Yeah. Next up is One Punch!
No, calm down.
One Punch Man.
And I mean, if you've been reading the manga, you're already
super hyped for this.
If you know anything about the fall season, you're watching One Punch Man.
Hopefully.
Most people who know about the fall season
have at least heard of this.
Are watching One Punch Man, and we watched this episode a month ago. So
we've been following the manga for a long time.
And
so
not only that, but we saw the leaked first episode, quote unquote leaked, a month ago. So I mean,
it's good.
Just watch One Punch Man.
Yeah,
I'm ready for the second one already.
Yeah,
One Punch Man is great. The source material is great. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
Just watch.
Highly suggested.
The original source material was a webcomic, and then they got a person who
actually draws.
Who draws for yaoi stuff. to basically draw all the
Supersonic.
characters and like all the settings really nice. So basically, they took the pure story and then they took a different artist and said, "Yo, make this story pretty," and that was the manga. And now they're taking that manga and making it into an anime. So it's pretty nice.
Next up is the Sunday, which was the Saturday of last season, is now moved to Sunday. Like last season, Saturday was Gatchaman Crowds, Charlotte, Roku no Yusha, Durara working, like Shimonetta. That was the lineup for last season Saturday.
Yeah.
That moved to Sunday because we have Mobile Suit Gundam, Komori-san, Comet Lucifer, Concrete Revolution, and was there another one that came out? And One Punch Man. Yeah.
And One Punch was on
Yeah.
that day too.
So they moved the Saturday, all the good ones to Sunday. No.
Yeah. I haven't watched Gundam. I'm
But-
probably not going to watch Gundam. I'm going to let these two talk about it.
What did you? Okay, for me, I've watched Gundam 1. That's all. How about your previous experiences with Gundam?
I mean, I watched like an episode of Seed when I was 10. I don't know.
But basically, we weren't actually planning on watching this.
We're very inexperienced with Gundam, so we don't actually know like what's good in Gundam standards. But as this show goes,
That was a really good first episode.
yeah, it's not exactly what you would expect. You know, you'd probably think,
You would think heavy arms and like Tallgeese from
yeah,
Gundam
it's like,
Wing.
oh no, you have this new character, and he's totally like a rookie, or he's totally an edgelord. And everyone's like, no, you can't get in the mech. The mech's only for like the super strong person, but he got sick. So then he gets in the mech and beats
No,
him.
this
And
guy-
it's totally not that.
This
It's
guy's
completely different from anything like that.
yeah. You start off with child soldiers and basically walker gears.
It's like the Band of the Hawk with mechs. It's great.
yeah. And then the one guy who's the experienced mecha pilot gets in the mech, and you go, yeah, do it,
This is the person who should be in the mech.
just do it, and he does it, and it's just like, from what I've heard is that this is a promising Gundam. Like this already starts promising, and like a lot of people are hyped up about it.
Also,
I
this
didn't-
also looks like a Disney character. The main character
yeah.
looks like Mickey Mouse to me.
I did not expect to enjoy this, and I'm now interested in Gundam again. How about you?
I had a lot of fun. I'm glad they didn't just have a bunch of humanoid robots fighting. They were just guns on wheels.
Yeah, and you're
which
thinking
is
of
a
watching
very
more.
efficient design for a robot. Just
Yeah, and you're thinking of watching more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, check this out. This was beyond our expectations. From like what, no expectations
we
to
don't
like.
like mechas or I don't like mechas.
You don't
that
like
much.
mechas, and I didn't even think of watching Gundam because I saw Gundam and I was like, I don't know, I'm not a Gundam fan. And then we watched it, and oh my god, that was great.
It's pretty good.
Highly suggest that pilot. Next is the 2-minute anime, which is really sad because I heard it's actually pretty characters focused and story focused, and it's only 2 minutes. Komori-san, Komori-san can't say no or something.
Yeah. This is very weird. Every other short I've watched
It's
is
3
either
minutes.
3 minutes or 8 minutes. It's one of the two. And this is 2 minutes. And I don't think 2 minutes is enough time for a
3
short.
minutes isn't not enough already.
3 minutes is like perfect for a short to be a short. If it's a good short, like you can get a good little quick plot line in there and resolve it within that time, and it feels complete. And 2 minutes just is not enough. Plus,
I'm almost certain that we're about to talk about the show for about the length of 2 minutes.
yeah,
It
just
started,
doesn't
it
work.
started, and then it ended. And then it's just like, okay.
It was
And-
very
How's the show
abrupt.
itself?
The show itself, I don't.
Typical.
Yeah.
It's- I mean, I'm
Did you laugh at the joke? Was it like?
I did not laugh at the joke.
Did you
It
find
was
charming?
definitely more etchy than it should be. I see no
Apparently-
reason to keep watching.
That
Apparently-
pissed people off.
Besides
from
the
there.
fact that it's only 2 minutes.
apparently
and I
it's
might
not
as
even
well,
etchy though. Like apparently, like even the source material is not even an ecchi.
Which
There's
is
like, let's make the boobs big and jiggly.
Well, they are big and jiggly in the they're not jiggly in the manga, but they're big, and that's only because from what I heard is that she drinks a lot of milk. That's all. Like,
just playing off of that trope.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's 2 minutes. I'm gonna keep watching that. I might start reading the source material because everyone's saying how the source material is pretty good. So I might read it and see.
Yeah.
As
It-
much as it's bad that it's 2 minutes, I might actually watch it because it's 2
2
minutes.
minutes?
It's only 2 minutes out of my time.
Yeah, I mean, what like you could. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like watching shorts, and it's hard to find older shorts.
So watch Gekon Shoujo instead out of 10.
Dude, always watch
It's
Gekon Shoujo
out of
instead.
10. Next up is. Oh yeah, that was about 2 minutes too.
Longer.
Next up is Comet Lucifer.
Which one is it? Oh, it's the.
This is the girl in the crystal one, and this piqued your interest, Austin.
This I was not. I
We were-
didn't know
okay.
what I expected from this one.
I didn't
Sunday-
expect
But
this
it wasn't
to go
this.
flying into the
Okay.
sunset.
This is what I'm gonna have to say. Sunday took us all by surprise. None of us expected Sunday to be as good
But
as
it
was.
wasn't Comet Lucifer that did it for me. I don't know.
I know, but it's
I
still
feel like I've seen this before, and I'm sure you will have seen this before.
But
it
the
was done
moment
well. It
where
was
like
pretty.
the moment where like you thought you know what was gonna happen, and then it wasn't the thing that you knew was happening, and then you're like, wait, there's mecha involved. Wait, is that Simone? Like, what am I watching?
It's just really weird. There's like the main character has like half of Simone's goggles from Gurren, and
he's
has a
basically a digger.
he's basically a digger. He has a very interesting character design. He finds a girl with a white hair and a rock. He's very similar to Simone from Gurren, but it still just seems to be a very interesting show. They packed a lot into one initial pilot episode. Like, I feel out of almost all the things
There's
we've
so
seen,
much- there's
that's
so
the one that I felt like I watched at least 2 episodes worth of in that one
Yeah.
episode.
So you're gonna keep watching.
I'm definitely gonna keep watching.
I'm gonna keep watching.
It's pretty too.
It's
I
really
like
pretty.
things that are pretty. This is definitely pretty.
And you're gonna end up keep watching it anyway.
And
and
then
then
not stop talking about it. And
Huh?
now we move on to the space dandy of the season, Concrete Revolution.
okay, I don't think it's space dandy, but I think
It's fucking wild.
it's nuts. It's wild. It's weird storytelling,
It's like-
which I love. I love weird storytelling.
The aesthetic I got it from it is like it's an old timey diner where you get like milkshakes and burgers and stuff. That's like what every character seemed to have walked out of, in my opinion.
Mm.
But
I mean,
like,
that's where they started the show, basically.
no,
too.
I know, but like all the attire and stuff sort of came from that. Even the like monster designs came from like old fashioned whatever time.
Like, dude, From
movie
what I was
posters.
reading is like you take Marvel, DC, add in like Kill la Kill, like inject like Samurai Flamenco and like
and give it the butchered story
of Kekai
Bakuna.
Sensen. Oh, and that too, and Baku.
Yeah, starting off with beginning scenes and ending scenes together, it seems somewhat similar to Kikai Sensen
I've not
in
seen
some
that,
ways
but,
too, from what I've seen of that.
I'm really interested to see where this goes. Like, it was a wild ride from
I
start
hope
to
they
beginning.
don't fuck it up. Is all I can say. I
Yeah.
really want it to be good.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is week 1. There's still 12 more weeks for some 25, but you know,
This is like my second priority behind One Punch, and
One
then maybe,
Punch.
and then maybe Gundam.
and then like that really interesting one we watched today
Hmm.
with a really good opening. Next, let's go away from Sunday to Wednesday. Sakura-san
Wednesday.
no Ashimoto. There's a lot of weird translations for
Yeah,
this.
okay.
Lovely Bones, Sakura-san.
Yeah, it was like someone's investigation, lovely bones. My favorite translation
Was the skull underneath the cherry tree?
is
The girl who can solve a murder in 2 seconds.
there's bones buried underneath Sakura's feet
Yeah, that's
or
an
something like that.
And this
I
is a
forget the
really-
exact specifics, but
Again, this is I feel like this season got jam-packed with, let's put a budget in all of our animes.
yeah, this one's it's
'Cause, okay.
really high quality
Okay,
animation.
Let's see, we have Comet Lucifer, we have Sakura-san, One Punch Man, and like a couple others maybe.
What's the one we watched today?
Perfect Insider.
Yeah, Perfect Insiders.
All of them are like jam-packed with beautiful animations.
Yeah. Okay, one thing I'm just going to say right off the bat here about Sakurako-san is that it's doing a lot of interesting things with camera work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not sure what the source material for this is in, but it slips into a first-person perspective. Like, it did it multiple times throughout the episode, which I honestly haven't seen a lot of recently, or much at all in anime in the things I've watched. And I just thought it was a really cool thing to do.
It's a light
I
novel.
don't know. It was interesting. And I totally wasn't expecting it when it did it. Plus, its art style is pretty
Yeah,
unique,
it's really
too.
pretty. It's really pretty, and it's a light novel. Just say,
Yeah, okay. It's a light novel, which I was assuming it was.
There's a lot of light novel adaptations this season.
There's always a lot of light novel adaptations.
Because no one wants to. No, I'm kidding.
Quick critique: I feel like they told more than they needed to.
Yeah, you were telling me you should have show than tell.
Yeah.
But again, light novel. Almost done. Today we watched 2 of them, and that was Taimoden Gasun 35 or the translation to that roughly goes to Anti-Magic High School, I think. I was gonna look it up.
The
but I can't.
Anti-Magic High School.
It's the edgy anime of the season.
It's the edgy generic anime of the season that actually hooked me in more than the other two generic animes. Dude, when you start
you like
off,
mechas a lot more than I do. That's all I can say.
but there was not really mecha in this one.
It was like one mecha.
There was one mecha, but there were so many cool fight scenes, more than the fight scenes in the other two.
Despite how seemingly generic it felt throughout most of it, it was able to put two completely separate fight scenes into one episode, and it didn't feel completely awkward about doing it. It definitely doesn't seem like it's going to be amazing, but it could definitely be entertaining to watch.
You're kind of interested.
I'm debating whether I'm going to keep watching this one or not.
The translation is Anti-Magic Academy 35th Test Platoon. Okay, and yeah, I totally agree. Like, I don't know, when you start off the anime with, your character is about to die, how do we get here? Let's see, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And then when you have the cool scenes of them using the swords and him cutting bullets and then the shooter and then the mecha coming out and like the cool maneuvers around it, I was like, okay, I'm in.
They were really interesting looking fight scenes, which I enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean,
so we'll see.
If you're going, like, a lot of people were complaining, like, wow, I can't believe the fan service. This is an eki.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting into.
If a show's an eki, expect it to be an eki.
Yeah.
Moral of the story here.
Yeah. I mean, if it said, like, serious action comedy and nothing about eki, then you should feel betrayed.
Yeah.
But it's an eki.
Eki's gonna be eki. Don't fight it.
So now we go to what we
it.
just watched, like literally right before we started recording. Perfect Insider. What a great opening!
Dude, oh yeah.
And the ending was, like, the animations are just beautiful.
When we were saying the A team worked on the
opening and the ending animation.
and then the B team was for the actual anime, the C team was for the cleanup, and then the D team's working on Asterisk.
Yeah, this is by A1 Studios. They've done a lot of cool
A1.
stuff, a lot of beautiful things.
We
Your
were
Lie
just
in April.
We just talked about one last week,
Working. They've done a lot of really cool stuff, and this was just phenomenally beautiful. Like, the light work was really well done. The atmosphere, the character designs are interesting. The art style is interesting. There's a lot of attention to detail, and I'm really excited to just watch this one. Yeah. It's going to be a mystery, so we'll see how...
Well, apparently from the plot is next episode... If they get to the island next episode, we don't know. They could be like Roku no Yusha, where it takes 5 episodes to get to the mystery.
Yeah.
But, once they get into the mystery of, like, there's a dead body, who did it, maybe...
Yeah.
I'm going to be, like, so fully
just based on, like, the grungy kind of looking guy and, like, the ghostly looking girl, this seems like it's going to be sort of a cult classic anime. Really, I don't know. That just seems like the thing to me.
For some reason, this is, like, what I've seen, is it's on a lot of people's radars right now.
Mm.
Like, comparative to others, because, again, I started this season, like, when I was looking at animes, there's 4 animes that I'm looking for this. One Punch Man, Ultramono, Sakura-san, and this one.
Yeah, I don't know. It reminds me of like a 90s sign-in kind of thing, or 80s sign-in.
Well, it's a sign-in, so.
Yeah. Also, what was I going to say? Oh, I almost forgot. What really got me is the ending had like a not so subtle reference to Conway's Game of Life.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I freaked out over. I don't know why.
Dude, that whole ending is just programming.
Yeah.
You looked at it and it's like, this is literally
it's all just Conway's Game
I'm kind of interested because as programmers, we literally were like, there's a lot of programming in this.
Well, that's what the creepy ghost girl is supposed to be. She's like a computer engineer.
Yeah.
Oh.
which is very interesting.
Let's hope they don't Big Bang Theory it too much.
It looks serious. It didn't say comedy. Okay, if
I'm hacking into his computer.
Yeah, it kind of had realistic computers.
I know. If they do that, though, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Yeah, they had a
like
realistic
just slamming
desktop.
on the keyboard and go.
That was interesting.
No.
Yeah, so we'll see how the actual plot of this one goes, but for right now, I'm highly interested, and it looks really nice.
From what we could suggest, we have... I forgot to keep a tally. Now I'm going to look at it now. No... somebody count this for me.
Okay.
Yes.
1, 2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
No. Yes.
5,
Yes.
6.
Not really. No. Yes.
7,
Yes. Yes.
11.
So 11 that we would definitely suggest.
11 we would definitely
At least
suggest.
watching the pilot.
Yeah, from watching the pilot, I'm going to keep watching all of them, including I'm going to add Valkyrie Drive when that comes out on Saturday, and that Eki made one that I'm really excited. For some reason, I'm like, they've been holding this off for a couple of days now, and I'm just like, I wonder who's going to pick this up. I hope it's Kami subs.
Dude, Kami just... Who knows what Kami's gonna end up subbing? I just want to watch it to watch Kami subs.
Well, it's Republican subs
They're
now.
so bad. It's great.
But the only thing that I'm going to be disappointed about the season is when it ends. If like the 11 that we just named end up being like great, a lot of them are light novels. Meaning, if I wanted to look at the source material and keep going, I can't.
Yeah.
Or we can't.
Because a lot of light novels don't get translated.
Yeah. They get fan translated.
Some do.
Yeah.
Not even among... I mean,
You're
you get
looking
less light novel fan translations
Let's
than
see
you
if they
do
finish
manga
Roka.
fan translations
Yeah.
or other shit like that.
But this season's actually... From when I was during the summer, I looked at the fall season going like, man, I don't know about this season. It doesn't look as great as how summer season. This is shaping up to be really good.
Yeah. I'm definitely intrigued.
Again,
There's
we're
a
going to
lot
have to
I
see
wanna
how
watch.
it goes around. Like, I'm going to give it about episode 5 or 6 about where I feel like things will start picking up for everything, because that's a usual rule of thumb.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. And I'm going to try to get you to watch as many as you can. You're going to watch whatever you want.
Yeah.
Remind me when the good ones come on.
Oh, I'll make sure they're... Yeah, don't worry about it. But yeah, fall season seems pretty good. Any other thoughts?
I'm excited, and besides that, I don't have much else to add.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you for listening again.
Thank you, and good night.
Goodbye.